Joining me right now is Louisiana Congressman, House Majority Leader Steve Scalise. Leader Scalise, it's great to see you. Thanks very much for being here.
Always great to be back with you, Maria. Good morning.
And your reaction to what you just heard, pay to play for the Biden family. Is this all influence peddling, and how long has this been going on?
Yeah, you know, what Lisa talked about is alarming. What we've been finding out in these investigations is incredibly alarming and disturbing. The American people should be alarmed as well. And we're just scratching the surface. You know, you see even the disparity between the IRS, which says a little over $8 million they've identified in payments to Hunter Biden that were not reported. Jamie Comer's committee is getting bank records that show it could be over $40 million. You saw the audio recordings. You see the whistleblowers. We have two different whistleblowers at the IRS, including one who's a Democrat, who have said that they see even more alarming things. They tried to bump up to a higher level to get an investigation where you had Hunter with these WhatsApp messages talking to a Chinese Communist Party affiliate and talking about his dad being right next to him, meaning Joe Biden, sitting right next to him while he's shaking the guy down for money. And sure enough, the next day, $100,000 drops in to yet another one of these bank accounts. All of this to say, you know, is the Biden family compromised by China? This investigation is just getting started, but everything we find out leads to even more alarming questions.
This is unbelievable. These are the most severe allegations ever lobbed against a sitting president, and the mainstream media will not report it. Meanwhile, during 2016 and 2017, they were wall to wall on no evidence whatsoever about Russia collusion with Trump, and they did so by just taking
the fake Steele dossier.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you saw, you know, it's been exposed that what they were going after Trump on in 2016 was a conjured up narrative that was coming out of the Democrat Party operatives paying people to come up with a fake Steele dossier, a whole fake narrative about Russian collusion that turned out to be false. This is all true. They're not denying it. Look, Joe Biden was asked yesterday whether he was sitting next to Hunter. He never denied that Hunter was having these apps conversations with Chinese party officials and getting large sums of money for it, by the way, Maria. Again, we're seeing more and more bank accounts every time they try to block it. And Hunter Biden's attorneys have tried to block all of Jamie Comer's investigation into these accounts. Jamie Comer's done a phenomenal job at going around in different ways and finding the money. Well, you follow the money, you're going to find a lot of things, and they're finding more and more money, and it's in millions and millions of dollars of increments.
Well, he certainly is finding a lot, and these bank records and the evidence of it have been stunning. But let's face it, they keep getting away with it. The people who abused power in 2016 are in power once again. Was it not Gary Gensler, the chairman of the Securities and Exchange Commission, who in 2016 was the CFO of Hillary Clinton's campaign? Did he not write the check for the Steele dossier?
Well, right. And look at Secretary Blinken. He hasn't truly given honest answers on putting together that letter. 51 intelligence experts saying, oh, my gosh, this whole, collusion between Trump and Russia that never happened. It was, in fact, Blinken who put that letter together, got people to sign it, including former CIA heads. And now he's Secretary of State. But there are a lot more questions that we're asking that need to be answered. And by the way, again, no one's disputing that millions and millions of dollars went to very different Biden family members. I think we've got over 8, 9 different Biden family members that got millions of dollars from, in some cases, foreign countries. You know, where is the mainstream media, like you said, being aggressive? Equally aggressive would be great, just showing the same kind of aggression that they showed against Donald Trump over and over again on things that turned out to be false. These are true.
Yeah, it's pretty unbelievable. Meanwhile, now Joe Biden is changing the conversation, or trying to do so, by defending his economic record. During a speech in Chicago yesterday, he's embracing what he's calling Bidenomics, even though he admits just 2 weeks ago he didn't even know what it is. Watch this.
So I came into office determined to change the economic direction of this country, to move from trickle-down economics to what everyone on Wall Street Journal and Financial Times began to call Bidenomics. I didn't come up with the name. I really didn't. I now claim it, but they're the ones who used it first. I got asked by a press person this morning, getting on a helicopter in Washington, why, when I asked you about Bidenomics a long time ago, you said you didn't know what it was. I said, I didn't name it Bidenomics.
I don't know what he's talking about there, truly, Congressman, but what do you think Bidenomics is?
Well, Bidenomics is borrowing money from China and spending it on far left ideal wish list, Green New Deal, trying to kill the combustion engine, trying to ban gas stoves, paying people not to work, and wrecking the American economy at the benefit, by the way, of countries like China, of countries like Russia. I think the American people are waking up and looking at this. They don't like it. They don't like the fact that they're paying 50% more for gas, 30% more for household electricity. You can't even charge your EV if you have one because the electricity grid's so broken from all their green energy, and you can't build half the projects that they borrowed money to go build because of all their crazy regulations. Well, that's what the American people know Biden economics is.
Yeah, Brian Brenberg, jump in here, because earlier you said Bidenomics is spending and it's regulation.
Well, and this is, Congressman, this is the piece that gets me, because so much of what Biden does is through the regulatory state, through the bureaucracy. It's undemocratic. He doesn't give you the chance and your colleagues to vote on this. They just do it through the bureaucracy, and that means we don't feel it right away, but it gets entrenched and it becomes incredibly costly over time. You fought, the stove bans. What else are you doing to try to reclaim your right, that Congress's right, to appropriate money, not the bureaucracy's right to appropriate money?
Such a good point.
Yeah, and that's so important, because this is something Congress gave away for decades, going back to the 70s. We're working to get that power of the purse back. But you look, the appropriations process has started. Kay Granger and her committee have been passing those bills out of committee. They're going to come to the floor when we return after July 4th. And these are a lot of amendments that have been added to the bills to rein in a lot of the radical regulations and attempts by the Biden administration to invoke their agenda. The REINS Act. This is a bill by Kat Cammack. You've seen Harriet Hageman working on this. Things to rein in unelected bureaucrats. Can anybody name the person who came up with the crazy idea of banning the gas stove? I think we got to drug test some of these people when we see these crazy ideas coming out of bureaucratic agencies. But why should an unelected bureaucrat be able to kill the combustion engine by regulation at the EPA?
No.
Ban gas stoves by regulation at the Department of Energy. These people are making over $100,000 a year. These aren't people that are just, sitting in a room coming up with a crazy idea and it's thrown in the trash can. Their ideas are actually affecting hardworking families, and families are sick and tired of it.
Yeah, and Lee Carter is here this morning with us, Congressman. And Lee, with all of the things going on in America right now, a wide open border, crime spiking across the board in our big cities, inflation not where we want it, even if it's off 40-year highs. We're talking about banning pizza ovens.
Oh my goodness. I mean, we need pizza in moments like this.
I'm
like, I need
those are fighting words in New York.
I'd like a slice right now. Go ahead, Lee.
Here's the thing. I think people are one of the things that I'm seeing in polling is that Americans are really afraid in this moment their freedoms are going to be taken away from them. Over 40% of Americans right now say they don't believe that their freedoms are being respected. They don't trust the government agencies to protect their freedoms. And it's issues like gas stove bans. It's issues like a lot of the ESG stuff that's making people feel this way. What do you think would be different if we had a complete Republican sweep in 2024? How would we reclaim it?
Well, you could completely reverse this. If you look at what Joe Biden's been doing, most of these crazy ideas that are affecting families. And again, it's not just an idea that somebody came up with and everybody laughed and it got thrown in the trash can. These ideas are being implemented in rules that are hurting families and raising the cost of everything we buy. A Republican president on day one, I hope their arm is so sore because they've been signing executive orders, reversing everything that Biden did. Starting on day one when he killed the Keystone Pipeline, he stopped construction of the border wall. Why is the border open? Because Joe Biden, through executive order, took our Border Patrol agents away from stopping drug cartels and made them, in essence, babysitters that have to just watch people coming in illegally and let them come in.
Yeah.
The Border Patrol agents, by the way, hate this. They don't want to be in this role, but they've been taken off of their post for the things that they want to do, keeping America safe.
Yeah.
We can restore a lot of that through executive order. And then let's go pass good bills that help families get back on their feet and get the economy moving again and reverse this tide of Bidenomics that is crushing the middle class of America.
All right. We will leave it there. Congressman, it's good to see you this morning. Thanks very much.
Always great to be with you, Maria.
Right.
Thanks.